Hey, it's Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Today's the 26th of February, and I have something to brief, and I'll tell you right up front, this is going to take widespread dissemination. A lot of things we talk about on this channel are fun things, talk about pigs and gardens and stuff like that, but this overshadows all of that. If we can't get a handle on what we're doing as a people, we're not going to have the luxury of gardens and pigs and things like that. And that's the truth. As you know, back in 2011, the Department of Natural Resources issued an order, and the order was that any person that owns a pig with a straight tail or a curly tail has to get rid of it. Foolishness, right? Yeah. The Department of Natural Resources is a bureaucracy. They're a department. Their job is not to make law. Anything that they say is got to be taken with a grain of salt. And what should have happened there is our elected officials, people we elected, like our county sheriff, we elect him. When he's elected, he takes an oath, and that oath is to protect and defend the Constitution as pertains to the people who elect him, of course. Now, the Department of Natural Resources says any person with a pig with a straight tail, curly tail has to get rid of it. Well, that's a direct violation of the Fifth Amendment, and here's why. The Fifth Amendment says my life, my liberty, my property is protected under due process of law. Department of Natural Resources issuing an order is not law, and my county sheriff should have stepped in and said, no, you can't do this. This guy's got rights. But he didn't. And then the Attorney General should have stepped in and said, sorry, boys, you can't. The Attorney General has gone as far as to say he's the attorney for the state. That's what he claims. I'm the attorney for the state. So I guess when he was running for election, he said, I'm going to represent the DNR against that son of a gun, Mark Baker. And that probably got him a lot of votes in some circles, but that is not the case. He is the Attorney General for the people who elect him, and that's us. Now, he obviously has disregarded his oath of office, the Attorney General has. And so we've wound up in a place where there was nothing we could do except throw stones at him, and make fun of him and things like that. And that didn't go very far. He doesn't care. And neither does my county sheriff. He doesn't care. He's still collecting his paycheck. So I found my way through this as a lot of people do. It never really affected me until I was in the middle of it. And I thought, is there no way for us, the people, to hold them accountable to their oath of office? As a military person, there's 230,000 of us in the state of Michigan. We take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution when we enlist or are inducted as an officer. At the end of our service time, whether we make it a career or we get out after 4 years or after 10 years, whatever, we're given an honorable discharge if we served honorably and fulfilled our oath of office, or a dishonorable discharge. If you do not fill your oath of office, which is to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States and obey the orders of the officers appointed above you, if you don't do that, you get a dishonorable discharge. That means no good jobs, and so on and so on. I mean, you can't even date certain guys' daughters if you got a dishonorable discharge. And that's the truth. I would never let my daughter date some guy with a dishonorable. So we're held to a standard, but our politicians are not. And last time I checked, they don't get shot at. They don't risk their life for their Constitution. They don't risk much. Most of them get a fat retirement after they serve only a very short time. Have a problem with that, but we're not talking about that today. We're going to talk about what we have done. I'm working with a group of people, and we have for some time, on an initiative to hold government accountable. An initiative. And what this is constitutionally we have the right to petition our government. We have that right. And a petition is you get a bunch of signatures. Here's 300,000 people that think that, people that elected officials should be held accountable. It goes on the ballot, right? and then we vote on it as a people. And if we say, yes, they should be held accountable to their oath of office, which is to protect and defend your constitutional rights, then there would be penalties if they did not fulfill their oath of office. Right now, there's no penalties. They take an oath, but if they violate it, not much you can do. Make fun of their mom, things like that, but that's about it. And it doesn't cost them money, it doesn't cost them their jobs. And this is not just for our elected officials, but what about the bureaucrats, like the DNR? All those people take oath of office to protect and defend our constitutional rights, but then they violate it by the numbers. Okay, so this is what we worked on, and this is the real thing, and this is done through very official channels. It has to go through the Secretary of State, and then it has to go to the Board of Canvassers. And their job is to look at it and make sure all the T's are dotted and all the I's are crossed. That's their job. The content of it is really not their thing. That's not, like we could say that, rainbow ponies, we feel as a people that they should be able to get married to feral pigs. And if it makes it to the ballot, in effect, the people could vote on that, and it could become law. That would never make it to the ballot because you wouldn't get 300,000 people that would sign a petition. You think we could get 300,000 people that would sign a petition that would take away a politician's job if he knowingly violated your constitutional rights? I think we could get 500,000. Well, we went through all the channels to do this, and it was rejected. By guess who? Yes, you got that right. The Attorney General's office. And they said that it doesn't square with the Constitution. Our question to them was, can you show us where it doesn't? And they said, no, we're not going to show you. Our job's not to give you legal counsel. So we said, okay, and we can appeal that decision, and there's going to be a hearing. And that hearing is going to be in about 2 or 3 weeks. We haven't been notified yet. What I need from you is I need you to think about this. I need you to think about what would our world be like if the Democrats were pointing the finger at the Republicans saying you're not following the Constitution, and the Republicans were pointing the finger at the Democrats saying you're not following the Constitution. We would benefit. Our servants, our public servants, would then again be serving our best interests. If you haven't read the Bill of Rights, please do that. Go through that and realize that it doesn't matter what political persuasion anybody is. They have to. They are bound by that Constitution, same as you and I are. Okay, so I'm going to let this sink in. Let this sink into you that this is in the works. It's not done right now. The holding force on this that prevented this from getting on the ballot was the Attorney General himself. And although he says that he is a Constitution-loving, Constitution-defending individual, he does not want to be held personally accountable to the oath that he took. Right? So let this sink in, and then I'm going to be coming back to you with additional information, and I'm going to need something. And what it is I'm going to need your support. And this is not just prayers, all right? That's not going to work. Okay, this is Mark from Baker's Green Acres. I'll be coming back at you shortly.